guys. How you doing? All right, how late am I? 5 minutes. Okay. Well, I'm getting there. How you doing? Anybody here yet? No, it just went live. Okay. Oh my God, no, I'm not holding anybody right now. Here we go. Get down. Hey. Okay, here we are. Yay! Can't read the names. Hi, Elizabeth and Vanessa. Lori. Okay. Hi. Erin, Cheryl. Hair's weird today, huh? I use different conditioner. Barbara, Happy New Year, Karen, Lorraine, Gail, Paul, hey, Christine, Debbie. Oh, wow, okay. Well, everyone is getting on board. Happy New Year. What a day it's been already, huh? I think everyone's afraid to breathe at this point. They just don't want to set anything off. Like walking through a minefield. Hey, Patty. Oh, my gosh. This is awful. I can't. Okay. Hey, Halls. Yeah. All right. So, well, everyone is getting on board. Mary and Vanessa. Okay. I'll just, again, Happy New Year. It was a great year at the shop. Despite being closed for 2 months, we did very, very well. It was our best year ever. And thank you. Thank you all for your patronage and your support. I appreciate it very much. I'll be 14 years in business in April, and 3 years in the shop. It'll be 4 years in June in the Derby store. So exciting stuff. I do have a fair going on tomorrow. I have Sherry and Patty in the shop doing readings from 12 to 6. And I did have a couple things I wanted to talk about before we get into reading cards. I need to put my glasses back on because I cannot. Hey, Rosemary. Hey, Sean. Judy. Melissa. Okay. I blew cinnamon out my front door. Yep. No, you blew outside. It was okay. Yeah, no, you did. It was fine. All right. No worries. Just salt your front door. Salt the area in front of the door. That's the bigger Celtic thing. All right. No, I always heard it was blow it out. So. And what else? Because you're trying to attract it in. So you. No. Inside out, right. I mean, I'll double check that, but I had always heard, hey, John. Oh, boy. Looking at my dog's little face here. Okay, so let's talk and go over a couple things that I heard all year. I hear all the time. I heard it a lot the last 2 months, the holiday season. November and December, unprecedentedly. I was going to talk about it in the newsletter, but I'll probably do that in a month or two if it continues. And that is the issues of opportunistic people and white knight syndrome. They're related, but they're not the same thing. So with opportunistic people, and let me start by saying, all you self-proclaimed empaths out there, and I'm glad you're empaths, because if you weren't, you'd be one of the 3% of the population who are sociopaths, psychopaths, and narcissism is a part of that. Narcissism is a part of a psychosocial mental disorder, okay, and hallmarked by the lack of empathy. That's their specialty. They were great. Thank you. Sarah, hi. Okay, so let's talk about empathy for a second. I've discussed it in the newsletter as well. The ability to feel what other people feel can be a wonderful thing. It's what keeps us on the straight and narrow. Knowing that we'd hate for something to be done to us, we don't do it to others. You would know how that would feel, so you wouldn't do it to somebody else, right? That's great. But we are not obligated, nor should we. It's very invasive to feel the emotions of somebody else any more than it's okay to read somebody's mind. And some of us can do that. We can hear people's thoughts. We don't, because it's like going through someone's phone or going through their wallet. It's not okay. It's not a nice thing to do. It's an invasion of privacy. So if you're taking on the feelings of others, you need to stop. Those are not your feelings to feel. And the way you stop it is by doing something to block the heart chakra. I shouldn't say block the heart chakra, because you're never going to block your own heart chakra, but you're going to shield, okay, this area here, where you would say the Pledge of Allegiance, this here. Okay, by wearing a cross if you're Christian, a pentacle if you're a pagan, a stone, something. In the Mongolian shamans, they wear a plate, an actual metal plate over that area. And they've done it for, hundreds and hundreds of years. That's how they've dealt with it. The idea of chakras and energy points in your body is very, very old. This isn't new. We've made it new with the new age, but it's old ideas. Okay, so that's empathy. Stop that. Okay, stop it. And until you can stop it, remove yourself. If someone makes you uncomfortable, their depression's bothering you, if you go into a store and you can't stay because the energy is making you want to cry, get out. You're responsible for that. Leave. Remove yourself. Right? There's that. A lot of you ask me about cleansing a house. Can't get it clear, can't get it clear. When I question you, like, do you have an alcoholic living in the house? Do you have someone who's suicidal or chronically depressed? And the answer is yes. It's very, very hard to clear that energy, because it's like cleaning your house and opening the front door and the dust just blows back in. It's just the way it is. So you clear your areas, you clear your bedroom, you clear the common areas that you can clear. You'll never really clear it while that is in the house, though, because it's self-generating more of that negative energy. So it's a constant cycle if you're living with that ongoingly. So, opportunistic people. Let's talk about them for a minute, because we heard about them, or I heard about them a lot. Shannon, okay, Sandra, hey, Claudia, okay. Opportunistic people are people that we, out of the kindness of our hearts, want to help. We know they don't have enough food. We know that they need something. And in most cases, there's gratitude, there's reciprocation. Now you say, I didn't do it expecting anything back. That's great. You shouldn't. That's fine. But if you're going to continue to give to somebody, it really isn't weird to expect a thank you. Okay? It's not strange for someone to say, I'd love to help you with that. You've done so much for me. It's called gratitude. It's also called being a good person in return, because you know you're taking and you want to give back. Okay? And what I heard from many of you is, again, out of the goodness of your hearts, you helped. You helped neighbors. You helped people in your relationships. You helped family members. And someone described it so beautifully 2 days ago. It's like they take with both hands. It's like, here, have some. It's like Halloween candy. Have a candy. And then you have that one grabbing with both hands. Like, no, wait. I said 1 or 2 pieces. I didn't say the whole bowl. And then that's what opportunistic people do. They take and take and take. And then when you say enough, or you say, I've got no more, or God forbid, you ask for something in return, like, hey, listen, could you just watch the bus stop? My kid's getting off. I'm stuck. They act like you've just asked them to go to the moon. They just like, I can't believe you're asking me to do this for you. And here's the trademark phrase. When you say, I just thought, I never asked for your help. That's what you're going to hear. And that's the call phrase, the catchphrase of the opportunistic person. Well, I never asked you to do that for me. I never asked for your help. Okay? heard it over and over and over again. So here's what you do. Obviously, we don't stop helping people. Wouldn't ask you to. I'm not going to stop. But when you help and they ask for more help, or you give more help because you see it's needed, just test the water a little bit and just see if maybe they would be willing to do some tiny thing. Again, just to see that it's even appreciated. It's good for your own mental health. It's not about tricking people. It's about accountability. All right? It's about making sure that this person, for all you know, you're helping them and they're giving it to somebody else because you just keep the supply train rolling in, you know? So just do that, please. Because again, I hear it over and over again. And it's, you've got families of your own. You've got your own needs to meet. And most of us give out of, not of our excess. We give out of what we have to live on. That's the hallmark of the middle class and the lower middle class and lower. I mean, we give out of what we have to live on. We don't give as a tax deduction. We don't give out of our excess. And I'm grateful to people who do that. That's wonderful that people can write $10,000, $20,000, $100,000 checks and not blink. But that's not most of our reality. So before you open a vein and bleed yourself dry for somebody, just double check and make sure it's being appreciated. Now, let me see. Terry, Kat, hi. Now the other thing, kind of a sister issue, hold on. A little more common in men than women, but I hear it in both. Hold on. Someone is commenting here. Shah? Boundaries. Yes. And I mean, again, I want to sound mercenary. What I hear is they never even said thank you. A lot of times I hear it with daughters-in-law, where you're watching the kids or you're buying clothes for the kids, or I hear it with men and women. Please, I hear it both ways, but I hear oftentimes men will say that they pay for clothes and they get sent back kids in rags and dirty clothes. My brother, the kids come in dirty, they have no clothes. Where's the clothes? I just bought them, and so you keep buying new clothes. It ain't good, and it's not right for the kids. You want to do for your kids, but at the same time, where's the clothes I just bought? Where's the shoes I just bought? So, and a lot of mothers-in-law that are watching, and mothers, and then it's like when you stop or you say you don't want to do this anymore, you need help, they take the children away. And Connecticut has got some of the worst grandparent laws in the country. Other states mandate that you can't just remove a grandchild, but Connecticut, you have no legal standing. If somebody wants to take the kid away from a grandparent, oh well, that's how it's going to go. And again, Happy New Year. Again, it's after you've given and given and given, and done a lot for somebody. They don't need you anymore, and then they're done with you. Opportunistic people. White knight syndrome is something I hear from more men than women, but the premise is you're going to help somebody who's really in need. And I hear it in my readings with men far too often, where I'll be doing a reading and I'm like, oh, you've got this female in your life, but is she really in your life? Seeing depression, addiction, irresponsibility, Queen of Cups reversed, anxiety, a combination of cards. It's like, yeah, I met her and I gave her a place to live, or I bought her a car. She was, she's got kids, and I did this, I did that, and now she's, hardly wants to return my phone calls. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, it's always like that with me. I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, every woman I meet, it's the same thing. They just take, and then when I help them get a place to live, or I put their down payment down on their car, and and the next thing you know, they block me and they're not talking to me anymore. I'm like, oh, I mean, why do you do all that? Well, because they need help. They're going to be homeless or whatever, and there's kids, and I'm like, that's good and out of your heart and all, but you just keep helping them. It's like, well, you buy groceries, you come over and you do. And the expectation with white knight syndrome is that you're going to help somebody out. They're going to see how good you are. And they're going to fall in love with you. And they're not going to go away. And I can tell you, from having worked in a shelter for a couple of years, it's just the opposite. When someone is down and out, and you get them off the street, or you get them into an apartment, and you help them, and you put supports in place, it's a healthy thing. In that situation, in a homeless situation, or a near homeless, or an abusive home, when they finally say, okay, I don't need you anymore. I got this. I'm working, and I'm okay. And the thing is, once that happens, they never want to hear from the shelter again. They don't want to hear from caseworkers because they've moved past that. And it's a reminder of when they were really down and out. And no one wants to remember that. So you, for all that you're being good and kind, are just a reminder once they're on their feet, once they find their next victim, okay? Because many women and men do that. They go from person to person. They're always upscaling who's got the most for me. But they don't want to hear back from you because you're a reminder of when they were down and out. And no one wants to be reminded of that. And of course, your presence is just a reminder. Okay? Hey, Jess. Hey, Greta. Sean. Please. I gotta tell you, usually strippers and dancers have lots of money of their own and they don't require that. It's like, female alcoholics fall in that category. But it's an easy place to go. Probably because I left home so young and money was always so tight with me that I'm very cautious. I didn't take handouts and I really don't give handouts. So if I help, I'm usually, not that I'm happy to help, I do help, but I'm quiet about it. And thank you. Yep, I see you, Jen. So I'm fumbling around because I also don't want to sound like a hard-hearted person that wouldn't help somebody, because that's simply not true. I just was talking to someone earlier today, and I worked for St. Luke's in Stamford, and our motto was a hand up, not a handout. And there's a difference between helping and enabling. And many of you, not you personally, but you out there, are enabling your kids, you're enabling friends, you're enabling neighbors. And then again, when you call them on it, you say, hey, I could use some help, or do you think you'd give me a ride? I just heard that from my own hairdresser. That neighbor that had no food in the house and no formula, and pepped and just helped and helped and helped. Typical Aries, because Aries have got the hearts the size of a room, and I could really use a ride just to the, what? Oh, I can't do that. I can't, like, what? I thought I helped. I didn't ask for your help. Who asked you to do that? And the idea is implied because you keep taking the help, so, not so much. Sean. Okay. Well, anyway. Most of the dancers that I've known have gone to buy real estate and businesses, and they're pretty smart women, but I get you. Jessica. We've all done it. Everyone has given and done. It's really easy to do with our kids. And maybe because I'm a Pisces, we tend to see people's, I think, clearer than any other sign. We see people's intentions, as much as it hurts us. We can see where we can see opportunistic people for what they are pretty quickly. A lot of us tend to want to be in denial of that, but we can still see it. So those are two things I want to talk about. Again, heard it a lot this year. Recognize it in yourself and know that it's okay to set limits and boundaries. I talked about it in the newsletter, and it's going to be ongoing for 2021. We must set boundaries. It's really okay to say to somebody, I can't do that right now. You'll have to wait. Let me know how that goes before you jump in and offer, okay? And we do it because we makes us feel good too. And we have to recognize that. There's a release of serotonin and a certain sense of, look how great I am. Even if you're not telling anyone about it, you still get to feel really good about yourself because you're helping. Remember that episode of Friends where Phoebe and Joey were having a thing about no one does a good deed. There is no good deed because it always makes you feel good. And I'm not getting it right, but and Phoebe was determined to prove that you could give something without giving anything back, without feeling good about it. And it wasn't. She had finally to say there really is no good deed that you're not gonna get something back from it. Maybe that's the point. Maybe you should. Maybe that's the energetic exchange. All right, and maybe that's what you need to remember. Then, if we're going to talk in those terms, that there should be something that comes back, and even if it's just to just give you a card and say thank you, know that it's appreciated at least. That's where I'm getting at. Okay, when it's not appreciated, and when someone is downright mean when you ask for a favor or even time or anything, attention, it's not